It's time for a conversation tonight, and like I told you, we're speaking to Eldas Member of Parliament Adan Keynan, who is also the Secretary of a Jubilee Coalition and is with us tonight. Karibu sana Mheshimiwa.
Good evening, viewers.
Yes. Let's begin, before we talk about Jubilee Party, because you come from Wajir. Today there's been a ruling by the Meru High Court that the governor for Wajir has been reinstated as governor and making null and void the person who was occupying the office of governor, who was the deputy governor to Mahmoud. Your reaction?
We need to understand the way the law works. We have separation of institutional role. The MCS did their work, the senators did their work, and the court is doing its work. And therefore, as a country, we must accept the rule of law, and that is actually the basis of constitutionalism. So I have not gone through in details, other than what I have read actually in the social media, what really the whole ruling actually entailed. But I think tomorrow or this evening, late this evening, inshallah, I'll get an opportunity to go through. And whatever the court decides is always a process. It's not just something that one can say, this is what has happened with finality. So let's see how things unfold. But I just want to appeal to the people of Wajir, wherever they are, that Wajir is more important than any particular individual. Wajir is more important than any political short-term contestation. And therefore, we should live in peace. We shall accept the rule of law. And whatever the outcome, Wajir will rise. Whatever the outcome, the people of Wajir shall remain united. Whatever the outcome, we must all submit to the rule of law and accept to be guided by our own laws.
All right. Quite interesting. Let's talk about your position as the Secretary of Jubilee Coalition. There's no contestation. By the time you were taking that position, there were already huge cracks in the Jubilee Party. As it were right now, is Jubilee Party dead or is being resuscitated?
Jubilee is alive, functioning. And Jubilee, for information, is a mass movement. Jubilee is the ruling party. Jubilee has an absolute majority in the current parliament, notwithstanding the challenges of few disgruntled elements actually who are out to rock the boat from within. That is now behind us. Being a democratic party, and I want to take you back to where the president actually said immediately after the 2017 general election, in our first BG, he said he wanted to use his first 4.5 years period for developmental purpose. And therefore, for those of us who wanted to engage in 2022 succession politics, had either to live with his expectation or to completely get out of his political realm. So that reality, actually, at that particular time, many people actually did not accept what the president said. And that is why the group that disagreed were nicknamed the Tanga team. They went out, yapping, they went out doing so many things. Now, the president, true to his prophecy, true to what he said, and we all feel the same, has done great on different aspects of our development. And the next 6 months, Uhuru, the politician, will lead the country, will lead Jubilee, will show the way, and will act as a true politician, not as a test tube politician, no, as a true politician, as a product of the Kenyan politics, as a product of our democratic institutions, lead Jubilee and other like-minded parties like the Handshake Group, and ensure that this country, first of all, has a peaceful transition, and also the Jubilee Party and other partners also win the next general election with absolute majority, not at the presidential level, but also at the parliamentary level, at the Council of Governors level, and the County Assembly level. Of course, in a free, fair, and democratic process.
And we'll talk about the election in a few, but walk us typically through the journey of being the Secretary to the Jubilee Coalition. Of course, that came up after KANU formally signed, and also Wiper formally signed an agreement with Jubilee. How has it been like for you, and what have you been doing exactly as a Secretary of that Jubilee Coalition?
Jubilee is a mass movement. And my work, pursuant to Section 7 of the Jubilee Party Constitution, is to provide synergy and coordination between the party and the houses of parliament. That includes the National Assembly and the Senate. And this is exactly what we have done. You remember before the changes were made, there were all sort of hula-baloos. The pastoralist communities or the Asal nations were all out in one particular group, and they were doing this, and all that has been demystified. And the results actually could easily be seen even during the time we were voting for the BBI. The results could be seen even right now, and therefore my work was first of all to make sure that Jubilee as a party, Jubilee as a majority party in the House, Jubilee party as the governing party, remain true to the expectation of the people of Kenya, and that's exactly what he has done, what we have done. We have continued to pass legislations that are friendly actually to the people of Kenya. We have continued to pass other laws that are because of for posterity, not because of personal aggrandizement or individual gains. We have continued to hold the party. We have continued actually to transact business with our handshake partners and other like-minded parties. And therefore, luckily, Jubilee and KANU have a coalition agreement that has been deposited with the register of political parties. We have also had a working relationship passed on to the handshake with the ODM. We also have had a working relationship with Wiper and other groups, you know, in small parties or other members actually who are independent. There are quite a number of them actually who are independent. All this has provided the government actually a conducive environment in passing legislations, in formulating policies, and ensuring that Kenyans get value for money in, you know, in Parliament.
Help us understand, because you talk about, you know, coordinating, you know, issues in Parliament, particularly at both levels of Parliament. Yet politically, now we see Wiper and KANU on one end calling themselves One Kenya Alliance, and then there's Jubilee and Azimio on this other end. Was that agreement just purely on the basis of legislation, or did it involve even, you know, political unity amongst yourselves?
I think you need to understand this. That was purposely for the working of the current Parliament.
Okay.
But as we approach 2022 general elections, parties are at liberty to form new coalitions, to continue with the old coalitions, to come up with other caucuses. And therefore, what KANU and Wiper are doing right now is perfectly in order. This is meant for 2022 you know, general elections. And this is the season actually of coalition making. If you go back to the history of this country since the advent of multipartyism, coalition making actually have happened around this time, March, April, sometimes even you know, early May. So this is the season of coalition making, and what they are doing, and I'm glad that notwithstanding our small differences, OCA, of course comprising of KANU and Wiper, I believe at certain stage will be part of the mega coalition that is in the making, the mega coalition that will bring together the handshake group, that is Jubilee and ODM, and also later on, or a certain stage, Wiper comprising of KANU, and I mean OCA comprising of KANU and Wiper. This is what Kenya requires for stability, for tranquility, and also for shared prosperity. And this is exactly what the President and the former Prime Minister, the Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, have told the people of Kenya, pass on to the handshake, that this is what they will be pursuing. And this is exactly we as Jubilee have decided to pursue, have decided to invest in, and that is why in our own wisdom we decided not to field a presidential candidate, so that we can also allow somebody from another party, you know, to rise to the helm of this country as part of our democratic you know, traditions.
All right, let's talk about the NDC that is upcoming at the end of this month. First of all, we notice you've shared the yellow-black color from the Jubilee party. Now it's almost a resumption to the old TNA, but Jubilee now with a red dove. But when it comes to the particular day of the NDC, is it when that you formally declare that you've severed ties with the deputy president? Is it one of the agendas of the NDC?
Let me say this. One day in politics is such a long time. And therefore, a lot of things are likely to happen, just like it happened last week. You saw last week a number of things happen. Quite a number of members from different counties changed their position from, or moved from UDA to Jubilee. This week, a number of others have already moved. There's total realignment. And this is exactly what we profess. There's time for politics. There's time for development. And therefore, what we are likely to see, and this is why we are making an appeal to those members who have been misguided, to those members who have been misled, to those members actually who are not sure of their political journey. Jubilee is open. We are inviting them back to the mainstream politics. They understand this, and this is actually in pursuit of what the president said in our first PG. Welcome back home. You will not be punished, and you'll be back home. And I'm sure you'll also be given a conducive political environment to pursue your political ambitions. And therefore, what will happen, for those who will not have read this message, for those who have not listened to this wise counseling, I can tell you, will not have more time for the political scuffling that we have seen over the years. And therefore, it will be time to say, if you have decided to pursue and promote other political parties' ideology, go in peace. Do it democratically. Leave Jubilee for those who live in Jubilee.
You appear to open the door, saying this is time for political coalitions. But I'm just wondering, are there ramifications? For example, if the NDC, you say, we have formally severed ties with the deputy president, who is our deputy party leader, or was our deputy party leader. What are the legal ramifications if that were to happen, that you've severed ties or the deputy president is expelled from the Jubilee party?
I don't want to speculate. I don't want to speculate, but I can tell you for sure that the Jubilee party that you will see after 25th and 26th February, inshallah, will not be the Jubilee party that you have known. It will be completely a Jubilee party that will be rebranded, a Jubilee party that will be reorganized, a Jubilee party that completely rejuvenated, a Jubilee party that will be managed by the individuals truly who believe in the letter and spirit of the Jubilee Party manifesto. And that's why we're saying, Kenya is a democracy. You have every right to disagree with your party, but do it in a civilized manner. Don't have one leg here, another leg here. You won't promote your party. You won't also remain a stumbling block to the other people who want to pursue their democratic ideals. This is the bit that we're saying is hypocrisy. This is the bit that we're saying is not acceptable. And therefore, the decisions that the NDC members will make will be final, will be decisive, will be conclusive, and will take the Jubilee Party to the next level of coalition making with like-minded members of, of other political parties, coalition making with other groups who have been supporting Jubilee, coalition making for posterity. And therefore, on that particular day, I don't preempt what the delegate will do, but I can assure you, they have a lot that they will consider as part of their menu, a lot that will come out from that particular meeting, and whatever they say will be final, decisive, and that is what we will use to go into a coalition arrangement with other like-minded groups that
obviously
we have been
the delegates will adopt the new arrangement of going into a coalition, of course adopt the colors and the symbol that Jubilee Party has adopted now. But listening to the president the other day when he was speaking and listening to leaders like you, a senior in the Jubilee Party, you talk of not fielding a presidential candidate, but you will have candidates in this other elective positions. Does that make you now or throw you to competition with your partners in Azimio? And what does that portend then when you're dealing with your competitors on the other end?
Good question. We said Jubilee has made a sacrifice. Serious sacrifice for the sake of this country. There is one thing that many politicians or many people actually forget. There's something called national interest that transcends our day-to-day petty politics. National interest, and that is the fabric that holds this beautiful country together. And therefore, the sacrifice we have made, the leadership of Jubilee led by His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta has made for the sake of this nation is one that historians will come to. People right now might not appreciate. But one time, for those who will be penning the history of this country, at certain stage will say, during the time, in this particular period, when President Uhuru Kenyatta was the President of the Republic of Kenya and the leader of Jubilee Party, the party led by Uhuru Kenyatta made these sacrifices for the sake of the nation. And that will be a very critical chapter in our history. And I believe the next generation, the generations will be part of the transformative agenda that the President has pursued over the last 10 years, is one that we'll be very proud of. Having said this, politics is about capturing power through democratic means. What we have sacrificed, what we are supporting is a presidential candidate from another party. But we want to retain absolute majority in the House as Jubilee. We will do whatever it takes as Jubilee Party to get as many members of parliament in both houses, as many members of parliament at the Council of Governors, as many members of parliament at the County Assembly. That will be done in an organized, well-coordinated manner with our coalition partners. Meaning, we know this country. This country is divided into regions, this country is divided into zones. We understand the history of this country. Parties have their own strongholds based on the historical, tribal, or regional affiliations. You understand the dynamics. That you go to Nyanza, a particular party is strong. You go to certain parts of Rift Valley, a particular party. You go to Central. That being the case, so what we'll do, we'll do a coordinated, nominations as we approach the entire electioneering period, so that we don't jeopardize the electability of our candidates, either within the Azimio, or as an ODM, or as an OCA, or Jubilee. So this will be well coordinated, and where a particular party has certain regions as a stronghold, that will be respected.
Okay.
In areas where we feel there is need to coordinate, like Nairobi, obviously there'll be a lot of coordination. So this is the essence of having that coalition arrangement, and the coalition arrangement will clearly spell out how this is going to be documented. And that's why for those of us who believe truly in the entrenchment of our democratic traditions, in our in our statutes, or in all the facets of the Kenyan society, passed that critical amendment in the Political Parties Act, and this was meant actually to inject a bit of civility, a bit of respect, other than just a word of mouth. Sometimes that's what I've used. It didn't work actually in Kenya, and this is the first time that this is going to be properly captured actually pursuant to the Political Parties Act. Properly captured, it's going to be documented and deposited with the Register of Political Parties, and this is what is going to guide how coalitions actually are formed, how coalition documents are actually prepared, and once they are deposited, how they are supposed to be used as part of our governance structure.
All right, it's quite interesting. You've shed light on a very important question as regards, Azimio, Jubilee, moving forward. Unfortunately, Mheshimiwa, we've run out of time. Thanks very much for joining us tonight, and we hope we can invite you back again after the NDC to go through some of the resolutions that you make at the Jubilee NDC. This is where we put a cap on Prime Edition. Safin, it's been quite a fantastic 1 hour. What do you think?
Indeed, and great conversation there you had with Mheshimiwa. Really looking forward to this rebranded Jubilee Party, and also this new form of conducting nominations courtesy of the amendments to the Political Parties Act. Great things lying ahead for you, and right here on KBC Channel 1 we'll be keeping tabs with the developments on the road to the 2022 general election for you. My name is Safina Chengoma. Thank you so much for creating time to catch Prime Edition tonight. Good night and God bless.
My name is John Jacob Kioria. Have yourself a good night. Obviously up next is reggae. Don't go too far. Keep watching KBC Channel 1 because Kenya is watching.